Hello everyone. I know long time no see, but as I told you in my previous video, I am rather busy in this period. I am working on three rather complex projects for my clients. I am finishing my second book. I also have an idea for a third book, which I will soon begin writing. And my activity as chairman of Access Users Groups Italia is rather time consuming. I'm also working on two more personal projects, so I haven't had much time to dedicate to this YouTube channel and other social stuff. Nonetheless, I managed to review one of my previous tools that you may find on my VBA shop. It's called Configuration Table Management. It's a rather old tool I published a few years ago, and I've always wanted to make it different, make it simpler, but only lately I found the time to review it. I released a second version, which again is simpler to use and uses only one class module rather than one class module and one code module as the previous version. What is it about? I'm pretty sure that in most of your Access applications, you need to store some key value pairs. For example, the application name, the application version, maybe the last used folder, or generic user preferences such as font settings, some kind of size settings and such. All that kind of settings a user may need while using your applications. You probably use a table to store these values, and you have to go through the hassle of saving and retrieving these values whenever they are needed, implementing all the checks, and so on. My class streamlines this process. It takes care of all the details and provides an easy interface for you to interact with it. That's how you use it. First, you define your keys. In this example, I have application name, application version, last folder, use bold. Then for each of these keys, you define a few properties. The actual key name, which will be stored in the table, the user type, which tells if it's a system-wide value or it's a user-related value, which means it will be visible only to the user who created it. PC type is similar. It says if this value will be applied to all the computers the application is run or only on the specific computer where the value was created. Finally, you can set a default value if you need it. Once you have configured your keys, you are ready to use the class in your code. First, you declare the object, for example, private CFG as class config, but you can change these names as you like. Then you create the object, for example, in the form load procedure. Set config equals new class config, and then you init the instance cfg.init. And now you're set to go. It only has two methods and one property. One is load, for example, message box cfg.load ck last folder. Notice how the IntelliSense is exploited to make it easier to make your calls. This load instruction loads from the table the value associated with the key ck last folder. We can change this value using the property value. So cfg value ck last folder equals some other path. And if we want to make it permanent, we can write it back to the table. So cfg.save ck last folder. And that's it. A really simple interface which allows you to easily define sets of values for all possible combinations of scope in terms of user and machine. For example, you can create a key which is valid for all users on any PC, like, for example, application name and version. A key which is valid for a single user on a single PC, for example, a specific folder created by user one. A key can be valid for all users on a single PC, for example, a shared folder which all users should see on this particular computer. and a key can be valid for a single user on any PC. So the user can set some settings and he will be able to find the same environment on any computer he will run the application from. What about the table? No problem. It's automatically created by the init function and handled by the code. Table name is customizable. The table field names are customizable, so you don't have to worry about possible name conflicts within any of your applications. And that's it. I myself use this class in my projects because I think it's extremely simple to use, very handy, and allows me to handle dozens of settings without having to care about the details. I just import the class and I'm ready to go. I hope you will like it too. It's available on my VBA shop, which you can visit at this address. A user's manual is included, so you don't have to worry about all these steps, as you will find all the details in the manual itself. I'll try to find the time to improve other tools and to produce more if possible, if time allows. So goodbye, hope you like this tool and see you soon.